Live from Minneapolis, it's time for Chillin' with Larry Megan.
Well, good evening to you. Thursday evening, wherever you may be. Welcome to Chillin' with Larry Megan. I'll tell you what, guys, I am so excited for this show tonight. I know I say that every week, but I couldn't be more excited, really. An old friend is visiting us from the past. It's Wendi Russo. For any of you guys out there that used to watch me on Shop NBC, you all know how excited I always was to do the shows with Wendi. I could never think straight on those shows, but that's okay. I used to love doing it, and Wendi is here tonight, and she's got me laughing and joking and got me all flustered already. But in any case, we do have a great show lined up. Not only do we have Wendi, but in the Classic Film Zone, for Wendi, we're actually going to do a Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers film. We had asked her before the show, you know, who do you like in the old classics? She mentioned Fred and Ginger. So Maureen from Los Angeles is going to be bringing us Top Hat, 1935, Fred and Ginger, their fourth movie in the series of 10 for RKO. So that's really exciting. Can't wait to see that. And then in the Always Chasing Rainbows segment with Buzz Stevens standing by in Brooklyn, New York, in the Judy Garland segment, we're going to do I Cried for You. And I was really, really pleased when Buzz told me he wanted to do that one. That's from Babes in Arms, 1939. And one of the more underappreciated Judy songs, but it's beautiful. And I can't wait to get to that segment. Now, if you're new to Night Owl TV and Chillin' with Larry Megan, be sure to like us on Facebook and our Instagram and Twitter, all that stuff. Help us spread the word. Okay? Ronnie, I'm so excited. I think I want to get to our... Why don't we give a quick shot of our guest just to let the guys... I know they're standing by, they're waiting. There she is. There she is. But I want to get to our guest. Huge background on Wendi. I won't even be able to touch on nearly half the things, but Wendi was former Mrs. Minnesota 2008 and 2010. She's currently Mrs. United Nations 2016. I got to ask her what that's all about. Okay. She's been on Evine, formerly Shop NBC, for approximately 12 years now. That's where we met, way back in 2005.
Yeah, 2004.
Okay. I started in 2004. Maybe I met you then.
Yes.
You were in the middle of the night. We'll get to that. But she's still hosting there on Evine, right up the street. She's a life coach to help others, you know, be better in their own aspirations in life, become more successful. She's mentoring people in pageants. Of course, she's a beauty pageant queen herself, so she's coaching in that regard. She's also coaching people to how to, host on home shopping networks as well. Just a big background, and if all that's not enough, everything from Girl Scouts with her daughter to coaching and hosting and on Evine and her pageant work. She's got a very busy life. She's one busy lady. Wendi Russo. Wendi, welcome to Chillin' with Larry Megan.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here. I can't believe what a studio you've got in your home. This is amazing.
Oh, this little thing. We try, Wendi. We try. We got to get a coaster for Wendi, okay?
A coaster?
Yes, we do.
I need a coaster. Why do I need a coaster? We're going to be... Oh, I see. You got to be careful with my wine and my coffee. I'm intermingling the wine and the coffee.
It's our laminate top here. Okay, so we try to please. But Wendi, tell us now it's been about 5 years for you and I, or 4 years anyway, since we've gotten together.
That's right.
Fill me in. What are you up to? What's going on?
Well, I'm doing a lot of charity work right now. I help make wishes come true for kids with Make-A-Wish, which is a lot of fun. I enjoy being able to identify what their dream is that they want to have. I've helped to have a service dog given to a little boy that had epilepsy and all kinds of fun things. So I do that in my free time. And then I also obviously have a daughter who's involved in a lot of activities. So I'm trying to keep her out of trouble and keep her studying.
You know, I saw your daughter is also, what is she, Little Miss
She's
Princess?
Little Miss. So we did the pageant in Jamaica. We both did it together for Mrs. United Nations, and then there's a Little Miss. So my daughter ended up winning that title. And it's a service-based pageant where I did runway modeling, I did gown, we did fitness wear, and national costume, which I won. I was a Statue of Liberty representing the USA, which is, you know, kind of a big elaborate costume.
I think we have that picture.
Oh gosh, here we go.
No, do we have that? Is this
No,
the,
that's not. Wait. Oh,
which one is it?
you might. Oh, you do. He does. He's got it. Wow.
Good job, Aaron.
I know.
Yeah.
So I won for the USA. A lot of countries were there representing from around the world, from India to Asia, and obviously Jamaica, Africa, Liberia.
Now, this is Mrs. United Nations.
Correct. Yes.
I didn't know there was a Mrs. United Nations.
Well, it's not televised. So if it's not televised, you wouldn't know, right?
Yeah. So, so Mrs. United Nations, so what, were you representing America?
I was representing USA. So I was Mrs. USA when I went there.
Wow.
I know.
Wow. Okay. And you won.
I did, yes. And there was an interview, so we had that as well. There was preliminaries and finals, and I felt that I was held to a higher standard because as soon as everyone knows you're a pageant coach, then you're held. Oh yes, oh yes.
So now you're currently Mrs. United. When does that
Correct.
end? When is the
July? I give up my title in July. So whoever wins, whatever country wins, then I'll crown them.
And you'll be there for that.
I will be there.
And where
with
is
my
it going to
daughter.
be held?
It's in Jamaica. It's in Kingston, and then afterwards we usually go enjoy one of the resorts. While we're in Jamaica, I might as well have some fun. Mm-hmm. Go on the beach.
Awesome, awesome. All right, and I notice here, I'm looking at all the notes. You know, our associate producer Stacia took a lot of notes on you, and she gave me a ton of notes here. But I see you're involved with all these different charities: Big Brothers and Sisters, Make a Wish, Dress to Impress.
Dress for Success.
Is that what it is? Dress for Success.
Yes, that's to help women who are getting back into the workforce to find a job, to give them interview skills, help them with their image. I really mostly help one-on-one mentoring with women so that they can gain the confidence, figure out what is the best career or direction they should go so that they can be employed. Because I know how that is. I've been unemployed before.
I know. I think, as I recall, that was always your biggest fear, right?
Well, you know, I think everyone's biggest fear is not being employed. I don't know.
No, there's nothing worse.
That's not a good
There's
feeling.
nothing worse.
So I can relate, and I try to help other women to gain confidence in themselves, to present themselves well in interview, and I just enjoy helping them discover what's their passion, what are they good at, and how to pursue that step by step.
And that's a charity thing?
It is. It's here in the Twin Cities, and it's actually nationwide and international. Even when I was in Jamaica, I dropped off clothing that I donated for Dress for Success in Jamaica. So it's all around the world.
Now, you know, it's interesting what kind of brought us together as far as to do this spot here tonight. It only took 2 months, but that's okay because you're so busy.
Well, you know, I don't get off that easily from work, right?
Right. No, that's true. But I had called you because we started kind of ramping up. This is like the second incarnation of, you know, Night Owl TV, Chilling with Larry Megan. And we started kind of ramping up in June and July after I returned to Sterling Original. And we were not going to do our first show till December. And I called you sometime in November. And I think I asked you if you wanted to be a guest on the show, but I had an ulterior motive.
Oh, boy, here it comes. I'm ready. Wait, I should know. Larry's going to have an ulterior motive. What is it?
Well, here's the thing. You know, I'm very busy in my job with Sterling. They're running me everywhere, all over the country.
Show everyone your watch.
Well, you know.
Look at this watch.
Yeah, this is actually one of the older ones. I like the really large ones, and people comment on it and everything. But, you know, I'm traveling a lot.
Yes.
So here we are. We're going to do this show, and we've got a lot of plans for Night Owl TV. But if it's every Thursday night, I know darn well there are going to be times when I'm not here.
True.
So
here it comes.
No. I mean, you're off the hook.
Okay.
No, you're off the hook because now I see how busy you are.
It would be a challenge.
No,
I could fill in if the filling in didn't work out.
Maybe.
Okay.
All right, we'll keep you on reserve.
You're too cute.
You already ruled yourself out.
Aw.
Okay. No, but that's okay. We'll keep you in reserve.
Thank you, Larry.
Okay, but here's what I'm saying. So I wanted to, instead of saying, "Hey, Wendi, would you be my co-host or would you fill in for me when I'm not here?" I thought, you know what? Let her see what my studio is. Let her see what we're doing. Let her get a feel for it.
Let me see how professional he is.
Let's have you as a guest on the show. So, but before I did that, I actually had a short list, and you were like my number 2.
Aw, too sweet.
I had a number 1.
Oh, who was it?
I thought the perfect person would be Connie.
I remember that. Yes, that's right.
Because Connie had done this show with us. She did this show with us literally 5 years ago. I think it was 5 years to the day right now.
She would be perfect for this show.
And Connie came up here.
She would sing. She'd be able to sing all the oldies.
Oh my
Are you
God,
kidding?
you don't have any idea.
I do.
Connie came up here, 5 years ago in February. And she said, well, maybe I'll sing one song, Larry. I said, well, okay, we'll see. And I said, I'm going to twist her arm. I got her to sing like 6 or 7 songs that night. Of the 65 or 66 shows we've now done on Chillin' with Larry Megan, Connie's show by far is the number 1 show.
Aww.
It was incredible. And, of course, I had been off Shop NBC for 4 years. So Connie she wouldn't answer my messages, my voice messages, my emails, my text. I went on Facebook trying to message her. Are you going to
announce it now?
So... Well, I think people watching the show know that Connie's no longer with us now.
I know.
But I did not know that. I had been off Shop NBC for 4 years, and quite frankly, I wasn't really watching the station when I was off of it. And so I didn't know. And I thought, well, maybe Connie just doesn't like me, and she does. But, she was never that way. And she didn't answer me. So as we got closer to December, I said, well, I guess I can't count on Connie. And I called you, and during that phone call, you said, did you hear about Connie? That she was let go from Shop NBC, and I had no idea that she wasn't even there anymore. And then, of course, later, we found out that she had passed away, which was just so tragic.
I know.
Such an angel. And you were close with Connie.
I was. I started with Connie. Actually, she had started a couple months before me, and we were both put up at the same apartment complex. And she would go to the pool every day and hang out and tell me about all the men, to all the men she's loved before. And we would have a ball talking about everything. I was actually just pregnant at the time, so I wasn't exactly sunning myself. But she was always a hoot, and we would hang out and go do all kinds of fun things together, and I appreciated her love of theater. I always loved theater. I lived in New York City for many years, and I would go see all the shows, so she and I could relate on that level. She was obviously a much better singer than me, but I knew all the words, and I loved the whole experience. So.
Now, let me ask you, did you ever take a look? I've run the replay of the Connie show like 3 or 4 times because it was our best show.
I'm going to have to look at that. I'm going to have to watch the whole thing.
Well, you will have to watch the whole thing because Connie literally would have sang all night if we didn't stop her. I mean,
I believe me.
I mean,
know.
she was amazing.
I love that.
I think that show was about 2 hours and 45 minutes. But Ronnie, do we have any of the Connie numbers that you can grab quickly? Sure. The first one was pretty good, Cabaret. How about My Secret Love? Would you want to see just one number?
Yes, that would
really?
be fun. Let's do it.
All right, listen, guys, with your indulgence out there, I know a lot of you have probably already seen it. We're not going to show the whole show, but just for old time's sake, for Wendy's old friend Connie, to let her see her sing one more time.
Okay, let's go.
This was 5 years ago, and I think it was to the day. I think it was February 9th.
Really?
February 9th, 2012. And here we are, February 9th, 2017. Check it out.
Once I had a secret love that lived within the heart of me. All too soon that secret love became impatient to be free. So I told a friendly star the way that dreamers often do, just how wonderful you are, and why I'm so in love with you. Now I shout it from the highest hills, an open door, and my secret love's no secret anymore. Now I shout it from the highest hills, even told the golden daffodils. At last, my heart's an open door, and my secret love's no secret anymore. Larry, no more, because I love you.
Woo! Connie Kunkel. Woo, Connie.
Secrets out. I love Larry. Secrets out. Oh,
Woo! All right.
we got an audience here clapping.
Okay, we're going to have the police here in a minute, but I'll tell you what.
You're
wow.
a lousy neighbor.
I'll tell you what. I wish I could hear what you were hearing in there because, you know, unbelievable. Well, what do you think, Wendy?
Well, I'd say Connie lives on in our hearts.
She does. She does. It's hard to watch that and not cry, you know. It's just, anyway, so tragic. But if you should go back and watch the whole show.
I will. I'm going to need a box of Kleenex, though, to do it.
Dar, are you still out there?
Come on.
Is Dar still here? If Janet, can you bring in some Kleenex in here? I really, seriously, Wendy's actually crying. I don't blame you. It's unbelievable. In any case, gosh, our old friend. It's not the same anymore, huh?
He rendered me silent. That doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, Wendy, you know, I was thinking about possibly pulling a clip. I have all these videos of shows that you and I did together. All these shows, and you always would crack me up on the shows.
I like to have fun. I really do.
Yeah.
You know, there are times when I feel like I can have more fun than others.
But you knew how to push my buttons. You really did.
Well, it's not that hard.
You really did, you know. I think one time you took that ruler and you slapped me with it, you know.
Well, of course.
I tell you.
The ruler was there and you were there.
Unbelievable. Oh, gosh. You know, so tell me, how did you, let's go back to, you know, before, and by the way, I remember meeting you at shopping. You probably don't remember when we met. Think about real hard.
No, I'm not good at those things. Tell me.
Okay, this might ring a bell. This is an all-timer, guys. It really is. I was doing a late night show. It was probably like 1 to 3 in the morning. And when I first met you, they had you doing a lot of.
Oh, of course, yeah. Well, back in the old days, it used to be you start in home shopping and you start in the overnights and you hone your craft and you build your audience and you find your personality on TV, because really, a lot of times people don't know how to be themselves on TV,
exactly,
right? So
right.
The key to, I think, being watchable is that you actually have to be yourself. What do you think?
Oh, listen, I used to always try to help people in the green room that were new the first time.
Oh, gosh. And you always say, what do you say? Be yourself.
Yeah. And
why is that so hard?
Yeah. And, you know, because they want to act or something like that.
Yeah.
This is not acting. This is selling and presenting, and you got to be yourself. And some people aren't going to like you, and some people will. And hopefully,
well, you can't be looking for people not liking you. That's just going to be every day.
Hopefully, more people will like you than don't. You know, that's how I always look at it.
That's true.
And I would just try to be myself out there, and that's what you have to do. But anyway, it was late at night, and they had you doing late night shows at that time.
Yes.
Like you said, it might have been 2004.
Yes.
And so I was walking one way in the hallway, and you were walking the other. So we were walking towards each other. And I had never seen you before. And my God, you were so strikingly beautiful. And I just looked at you and I went, whoa. And you kind of saw me looking, and you stopped and you looked at me. And I said, have we met before? I said, were we ever married before or something? Do you remember this now?
But he's here all night, folks.
No,
you're lying. You had the cutest little.
I said that. I said.
You did not say that,
I said, are you one of my ex-wives?
Oh God.
And you said, yeah. And I dumped you and I left you, and you just turned and walked away.
I don't remember that.
You did. I said, were we married, or were you one of my ex-wives? And you go, yeah, and I left you, and you just turned and walked away. And I just went,
I guess I could
oh
be
my
like that.
God. Yeah, you were. And I said, Jesus,
I'm a little,
she's funny too.
a little
Oh,
devilish at times.
That
so.
was the first time we met.
How
You
fun.
said you dumped me.
Oh, gosh. I feel
And
bad.
it was like 2 a.m. in the hall at Shop NBC.
Well, you got the humor, though. You got the humor behind it.
Yeah, I was married to a New Yorker for 17 years,
gosh.
It's that whole sarcastic
It is. That is.
insult
It is.
street thing.
Oh, gosh.
It was
It
great.
is. I admit I lived in New York for years.
Okay, so I want to go back now.
Okay.
So before you got into Evine and home shopping, how did that come about to get into hosting and home shopping? I mean, what were you doing before
Well,
that?
years ago, I was an actress, and I started off actually my career in sales. So I worked at Pitney Bowes was one of my first jobs, where I sold fax machines, and then I sold at Ciba-Geigy, which was pharmaceuticals, and I started taking acting classes on the side. And then from living in New York City for about 5 years, I moved to LA, and I pursued my acting career there for about 6 years. And then one day I'm walking up to town hall to get married to my husband, and my phone rings, and I realized I didn't turn my phone off. So I answered the phone, and this agent, who I really didn't even know who this was, she said, I'm wondering if you would be interested in auditioning for a home shopping channel. And she goes, would you be able to send me a reel? And I said, yeah, I would be interested. And she goes, well, it's in Minnesota. I'm like, okay. And then she told me how much it was paying per month. I said, okay. And then she asked me for a reel. Luckily, I had just made a demo reel called Inside LA, and I basically shot it with all my own money, and it was me hosting a show talking about the hottest places to shop, to eat, to party, like the bar scene in LA. And so that was what I submitted, and I got the audition, and then I got the 3-month trial contract, and then I got the rest. I've been there for over 12 years.
So you say you started as an actress?
Yes. Yes.
What did you do? Some TV commercials? Or?
I did commercials. I did some cheesy films. I did horror movies. I mean, I did whatever.
Really?
Anything. Yeah.
It just so happens I saw that in Stacia's notes that you did some acting.
Yes.
So I called an old friend of mine.
Oh, here he goes.
No, I did. I called an old friend of mine in L.A. with the American Film Institute.
Yeah.
And he went down in the basement and he sent me a clip.
Shut up. What is it now?
He sent me a clip.
What?
Were you like Wendi Richards or?
No.
Was it always? No, it wasn't Russo. It was
Winburn, my maiden name. Yes.
Yeah. So was giving us a little trouble.
Okay.
But he sent me a clip.
Trouble. Okay.
So Ronnie, do you have that clip?
I sure do.
All right, let's check out Wendy's acting career, okay?
Here we go.
This is Robert Martin, age 23. He works at the local university. His immediate family and friends live on the East Coast. He lives on a diet of junk food and he smokes.
Can you get him cleansed for the next lunar cycle?
I'll have him ready for consumption.
Excellent. Excuse me. Ah, a new manuscript from the personal archives of R.R. Deepak.
He's gone completely insane. He's a threat to our organization.
That's impossible. Insanity does not exist in crystalnetics.
One day we'll have to destroy him.
How can you be so callous? He's the one that showed you the way.
The prophet of old, the eternal one.
If it wasn't for him, you'd be dead. Over 16 centuries ago.
Wait, I gotta see this.
Well,
Wow, now I'm horrified. Like if I wasn't scared before, I am deadly scared.
believe it or not, I think you did a darn good job in that.
Oh gosh, Larry, I'm impressed that you even found this because frankly, I don't even recall shooting this film.
I think you did a good job.
I don't know how many years ago it was. Well, thank you, Larry. I'm impressed with your sleuthing skills. By the way, that was not me topless at the top of the movie.
No.
That was it.
That was you.
Interesting.
That was
movie.
you, like kind of licking the
I
blood off
memorized
your-
a lot of words too. It was a lot of looks and creeping through the darkness of the woods.
But you actually were you like in serious
I was
thought there?
actually thinking, yeah.
Yeah.
I know. And smoke wasn't coming out of my ears. It's amazing.
Okay, so there was a few other ones we were trying to get, but we couldn't get them.
Oh, man.
I saw you were like a spring break lawyer. You were a
Yes.
news reporter.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Oh, gosh, you're really, yeah. I did Pacific Blue with Mario Lopez. Yeah, a lot of guest stars on the shows. I did some silly part on the Man Show. No, I was not the trampoline girl. But I
Tim
did.
Temple used to go around telling everybody that.
I know. But I did a lot of little, anything that came up. I was like, all right, I'll try it. Why not? Like, you have one word. Okay.
All right. So now we're going to get out of that. And so you're a Shop NBC. You're still there. They're
Yeah.
not called Evine. And, someday you never know. Maybe we'll see Sterling back on the air there. You never know.
You don't ever know. I mean, I have so many different shows come up, and it's a turnover. You know who just came back? Lambert Cheng. 24 Karat Gold. He had been gone for 5 years and came back. So there's hope, Larry.
You never know.
There is hope. That's right.
You never know. So now let's talk a little bit about the pageant coaching. I know that's a big part of your life right now.
I have fun doing it. You know, I like helping women to identify their strengths, to build confidence, to carry themselves like a queen. I look at it and to really identify who they are so they can talk about themselves in interview. It's not always easy to talk about yourself. I mean, you and I are good at it, but
I got a million stories. I mean, I got a million of them, People have to kind of give me the hook all the time.
oh gosh.
But so you're doing the coaching thing and with these girls, and you had one I think that actually won. One of your students, didn't she win?
One. I've had many win. I actually have the national winner right now for
which one?
It's called National American Miss, and the teen won, and she won 3 of the big modeling awards. I taught her how to do runway modeling. I'm not really tall enough for runway modeling, but I know how to do it.
You're tall. No?
I don't know. I just learned how to do all this stuff, and
so what's
and I like
what's
teaching
the
it.
big thing? I mean, there's like a whole bunch of things they have to learn, but what's the big thing you focus on with these contestants?
Well, depending on the person, the age, I've trained the last 5 Mrs. Minnesotas, the last 3 Mrs. Wisconsins, a lot of little girls. So depending on the age is really where I begin. But I'd say overall, I start with her carriage, her walk, how she's going to be walking on stage. I kind of figure out who she is. I interview her. I ask her a lot of questions about her interests and try to direct her in what her goal is, what her purpose is for winning the pageant. What are you going to do with it, right? I mean, you're going to just put the crown on your shelf and enjoy looking at it? You're going to use it. So I look at it as you should be of service to other people, and that's what pageants are for me, is I can lift up my message, whether it's I really try to get people involved in mentoring. And so that's my message, but everyone has something different that they're talking about, whether it's children's cancer, or maybe they've had a rare disease, or it could be just that they're someone who likes to do volunteer work.
So do you coach the young ones
Yes.
to get involved
Yeah, all of them.
actively
Every
as far as actively involved in charity work? And,
Yes.
Yeah, because I saw a clip actually of your daughter.
Yes,
like
with the
from
lemonade stand?
With the lemonade
Yes,
stand.
was it
and,
cute or what?
Very cute, but I mean that comes from parenting to help others.
True.
And is that how you coach your students as well?
Always. And actually, when I meet a little girl and she's got an amazing personality and she hasn't won a pageant yet, I always feel like it's just because she hasn't been directed properly.
It's not just about being beautiful to win an award.
No.
You have to be in your soul.
Like
a Connie. And like
I work
you.
from the inside out. That's my philosophy.
That's the key.
Yep. So I find out who she is, and then I can tell by her answers whether she's
faking.
Well, yes.
Phony.
Yes. But also, is she kind? Like, let's face it, you'll vote for somebody or choose somebody, you like them. Why do you like them? You see their heart. If they don't see your heart, they're not going to see you.
Exactly.
So I teach them to, first of all, what is their heart and the goodness inside of them. Sometimes we don't believe we have the goodness inside of us that we do. So I let the little girls experience through telling the mom, let's get her involved in something age appropriate. Lemonade, selling lemonade for cancer. That's what my daughter does.
Let's stop right there.
Yes.
Aaron, I pulled a news clip of that. That was about 4 years ago or 5 years ago?
5.
5 years ago of your daughter.
Yes.
Who's now 13?
She's 12.
She's 12, so she would have been 7. Let's take a
She started at 6.
She started at 6. And this comes from parenting. Check this out, guys.
All right, what started as a little old lemonade stand has grown into a nationwide event that's raising money for childhood cancer research. Cancer is the second leading cause of death in children under the age of 15 here in the U.S. But a 6-year-old girl from Eden Prairie is leading the charge to change that. Here's photojournalist Chris Hansen.
Lemonade, lemonade. Another customer. I got a customer.
We're coming over to Minnetonka and we wanted to find her and buy her lemonades.
I'm making lemonade and I'm selling it for children with cancer.
Yeah, I'm Chloe's mom.
Mama!
Pour it? Okay.
I can't.
It's a little heavy. All right.
It's so heavy.
Ready?
Thank you.
I think it's great for kids at any age to get involved and do what they can, because so many times we feel like we don't know what to do.
There you go.
Well, where do I put it?
You're right
You
there.
gonna put it there?
Cancer is a kind of sickness, and I thought about raising money because it's really important, and I don't want anybody else to get sick.
What an honor and what a tribute. What a lesson.
Thank you. You're welcome.
So we're hoping to, by the end of the whole event, $1,000.
Would you like pink?
I think that's fine.
Adults can learn a lot from kids.
Yellow.
Well, we know that Chloe had about $700 this morning already, so we hope that she reached that goal today.
Well, Wendy, what do you think about your baby?
Oh, I miss her that age. Why are you making me cry so much? Where's the Kleenex? This is not good.
You didn't think you were going to
No, I didn't know what I was in for here at the Larry Megan Show. Are you kidding? What, you talk about chilling? This is more than chilling.
We're chilling.
This is like looking back on your life in ways maybe you never thought you would. I feel like this is a retrospective.
Yeah. Okay. We have Mrs. Pappy coming in the room now. Wendy, this is your life, okay?
I know, I feel like it is. Well, Chloe's now raised over $8,000 over the years.
Wow.
Doing her annual lemonade stand. And I'm proud of her because I think it's important to teach our kids, like I said in the video many years ago, that the power of giving back, and also that you are not powerless, that you have something to give at every age, and for us to know that we are empowered. And we can
absolutely.
help others.
Absolutely. And Chloe has won a title as well. She's the current.
She's won many titles. Starting at 6, she was involved with National American Miss. She was the princess, and then she was the junior preteen, and then now there we just won the Mrs. United Nations and the Little Miss United Nations, and my husband Corrado was very proud. Well, you know, my husband's been to quite a few nationals with me, and I have to tell you, I've been first runner-up several times. And I'm usually one of the oldest, if not the oldest, in the top 10. Wow. And so you know what? I didn't do my first pageant until I was 40. And I hope to be an example that you can not only, and I'm not, you know, it's not a beauty pageant necessarily. You need to be your best self for sure, but you really have a lot to offer at every age. And so you have to maximize what you have to offer. Because when I was younger, I didn't have the confidence that I have today, and I didn't think I was as valuable as I am today. Although I had maybe more looks, I had something else today.
You've never looked better, Wendy, honestly.
He's so sweet.
No, really.
He's so sweet. So the point is, it's been a great experience for me to find out what is the best me I can be. And that's what I've done, and that's what I teach my students, how to be their best.
Awesome. So that's must be a record, though, to have the mother being Mrs. United Nations, and then at the same time, your daughter is Little Miss Princess United?
Little Miss United Nations.
Little Miss United Nations.
You got it, yes.
It almost seems like it's fixed. Are you sure you didn't pay him off? I mean, okay.
Well, to be honest, my daughter is very skilled. I'm a coach. I know how to train, so she was very skilled. Plus, she's got the President's Volunteer Service Award 3 times in a row, the gold, and this pageant was based on service as well as your stage performance. So they're watching what you're doing well before the pageant begins. So for the entire year that I was Mrs. USA, I was very engaged. I created something called the 25 Days of Kindness, and that was during Christmas, and I decided to do something every day in the month of December, December 1st through 25th, even on Christmas Day, and I did that the year before, and I did it this year as well. And I just think that for me, this pageant was an exploration of what can I do to give back, help others, and making the most of it.
You know, I saw also in the notes that you're mentoring shopping hosts.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so give me some names. Anybody I know that you've mentored?
Heather Hall.
Okay.
I brought her in. I actually had initially
I know Heather.
Introduced her into becoming Mrs. Minnesota. Got her involved in that, and then she had said she wanted to be a watch guest, actually, and so worked with her on getting her prepared for it. Allie Carr was also a host with us. Tammy Krause was another host with us.
She's still there, isn't she?
Tammy's no longer with us.
Really? What happened?
She.
I mean, if it's you can say.
You know, I think she just left on her own volition.
But she was really busy with like the Vikings and all this other stuff, right?
Yes. She's you know what it was? The whole schedule and then having 4 kids, it was too much.
Okay.
Because we don't get our schedule till I don't know, 2 weeks before for the most part.
That's why you canceled on me. Like,
well,
was it 2 times or 3 times? I don't know.
This is what I'm saying.
But it's
2
okay.
times. 2 times.
2 times. Okay, which was fine. I understood.
Yeah, like if you're gonna get up at 5 in the morning or 4 in the morning.
I would do it, but I wouldn't expect you to do it. I would do it.
He's good that way.
No, because I used to do, when I would do shows there at Shop NBC, sometimes we'd get off at 10 and I would run over here or go right from there to here and we'd do this show.
Well, that's different than getting up and doing your show at 4 in the morning.
Sometimes I don't sleep, but it shows.
Wow, Larry.
But it's my thing. I mean,
that's why
they call me a night owl. That's why we're calling it.
That's why it's the night owl, Larry. And you don't sleep in the morning
But,
either?
you didn't really bat an eye about coming here from 10 to midnight.
No, I'm fine.
You really didn't. Whereas a lot of people go, oh, that's too late. But you're
well, I'm not grandma status yet.
No, but you were always doing late night stuff. I mean,
I'm up usually till midnight.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right.
I just don't normally wear makeup until midnight unless I'm on air.
You're wearing makeup now? I'm kidding.
Yeah,
Oh, gosh.
I'd be in bed normally in jammies, no makeup.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Yeah, you definitely embarrassed me a few times on air for sure.
How did that happen? What did I say?
I mean,
you remember everything.
Well, I actually have like a lot of videos. I was going to pull a clip, but I really didn't have time. I was 2 days in New York this week, and I didn't have time. And I thought
you were thrown for a loop, weren't you? You're thrown for because you had this trip, so you didn't.
But I mean, I'm constantly doing trips, but being away, I'm trying to keep this together with my team, and then 2 of my members on my team here at Night Owl got sick this week, and Joe, I hope you're. I know Joe is standing by from home tonight. She's not here.
Oh, okay.
She's kind of helping us from home monitor. By the way, she's monitoring our Facebook page, Chilling with Larry Megan.
Good.
And if anybody has a question, you could put it on the Facebook page, and we will respond to it. But also, you'll notice the number that Ronnie's flashing on the screen right now. We can take your calls, and I definitely would like to get some people to call in, speak to Wendi, ask Wendi some questions, whatever. Or if you have video Skype, you can Skype us at Night Owl TV, and we can put you on a split screen. So I know, Wendi, you've been promoting the show to some of your friends. Come on, call us up, talk to Wendi, get on the phone.
Ask anything. I mean, we're open, right?
We're open, and if it's too personal, then we'll say no.
That's right.
We can't do it.
Give it a whirl. We've already gotten pretty personal already.
I mean, usually
He's already crying.
Usually when people, ask me, I'm just like, bah. everything comes out.
There's no censoring you, right?
I just pretty much
It's all
will give
there.
it all up. It has to be really, really sensitive for me to say I can't answer that, but I pretty much will give it up.
That's good.
Yeah. So you came into our studio here and you saw our war room and our green room out there.
Yeah, I'm very impressed.
But, you know,
I feel like I'm at CNN.
But you gravitated towards, I have a library out there of about 1,200 DVDs.
Oh my gosh, you should see. If you love old movies, I used to watch all the old movies. Like today I'm watching this one. And I would go back and I'd love the lines from different movies and the classics. And I was telling you I love, you know, Mame. And,
Gilda.
Yeah.
Whatchamacallit?
I love
Rita Hayworth.
Rita Hayworth. I love all the style. I love the music. I loved how things were in such vibrant color, the costumes, even the black and white, the styling.
How about all the men wearing ties all the time? And
I loved it all. I actually own, so I'm really a big fan of all these old movie stars. I bought at an auction in L.A. Marlene Dietrich's coat. I have one of her coats that has a mink collar. I have two of her Gucci purses that I bought from this. And I hold on to them. I never really use them necessarily, but a little piece of history.
Absolutely. You know, Debbie Reynolds really popularized
I know.
saving all this stuff. And
yes.
we did a special show dedicated to Debbie Reynolds about a month ago.
That's
and
nice.
Yeah, we featured Unsinkable
That's
Molly Brown
wonderful.
and everything. But Marlene Dietrich, she very famously used to wear men's watches.
Of course.
She wore men's pants.
And
pants and watches. And
that's her whole deal.
People think that only it's new today for women to wear men's watches. Marlene Dietrich, Katharine Hepburn,
yes,
they were wearing men's watches way back in the 30s.
I used to watch those shows, and I'd say, I wish that you could buy this style from the movie. Like I thought about, I wanted a clothing line where I could make.
That's a great idea.
Like 1940s. Give me the shawl collar. With
You know what coat I want?
What?
I want Rick Blaine, Cafe Americaine.
Oh, really?
Casablanca, Humphrey Bogart.
Oh, yes.
That white coat, that white sport coat that he has, or
Yes.
where it's got the kind of rolled lapel.
Very classic.
I'd love to have that.
Debonair. You'd look like you belong.
Well, I have to lose a few
In
pounds. You know,
Monaco.
I've gained a lot of weight since I saw you last. You know, but that's
Oh,
okay.
you did not.
I have. But it's okay.
Well, we all have. That's
I'm working
okay.
on it. I'm working on it.
We all have.
You look fat. You've lost weight, but you know, so you're
gosh.
inspiring me. So,
Aw.
so I'll have to work.
Well, it's that Mrs. Wonderful Bundt cake out there.
I got
gotta
that for you.
You got that for me. I get the Mrs. Wonderful. Ah.
It's triple chocolate bundt cake. That's what it was.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
I love it.
I got that for
I'll
you.
have some after the show.
I remember I bought you like a popcorn and movie to watch with your
Yes.
husband and with
Yes. I still have that popcorn thing.
Corrado and Chloe, but I can't
Yes.
remember what movie did I get for you guys.
You know what? Now you're asking me to remember. This is not a good thing.
Whatever you say, I'll say yes. I don't remember myself. Was it Casablanca? Was it Singing in the Rain? That's always
wasn't Casablanca.
Singing in the Rain, maybe, because that's always one I give away.
Well, you know what?
It's a good starter movie.
I have that movie, so it's very possible you gave it to me.
That was probably it. It was probably
'Cause
Singing
I love
in the Rain.
that one.
It was probably Singing in the Rain.
I love that one. I've loved that one for years.
Okay.
There isn't one I can name that I don't love.
So do you go for the musicals too?
Yes,
So-
it's the musicals. Yes, it's the musicals.
And what about the dramas too? Both?
I do. You know, I went to the Minnesota Orchestra this year, and they had "It's a Wonderful Life," and then you listen to the orchestra.
Yeah.
That was awesome. So I do like that kind of.
So who are some of your favorite actors and actresses? You know, as far as like
I like
drama.
I like Cary Grant's
love
tongue in cheek.
Yep.
I love this sharp wit that he has, and the female movie stars. I mean, I really related. I think Carol Lombard.
She was hysterically
Yes,
funny.
very funny. I like the funny comedians.
Yeah, well, Judy's funny.
Yes.
Judy Garland's funny.
Yes. Judy Holliday was funny.
Oh, she's hysterical.
Right?
Yes. Judy Holliday's hysterical.
Yes.
Yeah, I like the funny girls too. What about Rosalind Russell?
You know,
Do you know
yeah,
her?
I'd say so. Yes.
She's
yes.
very funny.
She was very witty and sharp with her comebacks,
Yeah.
and I liked watching the Marilyn and her.
Oh, yes, Lauren
We're
Bacall.
just too. Wait, is it?
Oh, you're talking about Jane Russell.
Yes, thank you.
I'm talking about Rosalind
I
Russell.
know. No,
Rosalind Russell was in
Give me
His
that
Girl
one.
Friday with Cary Grant.
Oh, okay. Wrong one.
And also, Rosalind Russell was Auntie Mame, and she was
Okay. Yes to Auntie
the
Mame.
the stripper movie, Gypsy.
Love
the mother.
Auntie Mame. Do you know that I used to live at 3 Beekman Place, where Auntie Mame
Really?
lived?
That's like my sister's
in New York
favorite movie.
City?
Just about one of her favorites.
That
yeah.
was an actual address, and I lived in that building.
That was Rosalind Russell.
Oh my gosh, I loved her. Are you kidding?
Yeah, and you're thinking
Wow.
of Jane Russell, who played
Yeah, I
with
loved her,
Marilyn.
too.
I love Jane Russell too. Absolutely. Fantastic. Well, it's good to know that you're really into that stuff. I mean, we had asked you about who did you like, and you
Yes.
mentioned Fred and Ginger,
Yes.
so that's who we picked for
Yes.
tonight.
Great.
For you. Let me see. Do we want to go to the Classic Film Zone, Ronnie, or we have some other things we want to cover first?
Probably not just yet.
Okay. Not just yet. Okay. Well, we have Maureen standing by. If you're watching now, please don't go away, because we're going to get to Fred and Ginger with Top Hat. Maureen is our new classic film correspondent.
Oh, fun.
She's in Los Angeles.
Wonderful.
She blogs for TCM, Turner Classic Movies.
Yes.
She has written for Hollywood Reporter, and now she's interning at E! Entertainment
You're
Network.
getting some serious talent over here, aren't you?
She's terrific. Maureen is terrific.
Wow.
We have a blog up right now from Maureen about Fred and Ginger, inspired by you.
Oh, wonderful.
And it's really blowing up. I think we're around 600 likes on it now, but her Debbie Reynolds blog got over 2,000 likes.
Of course. Wonderful. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, check out the blog on Facebook. What else now, Wendy? What else? Where else can we go with this?
Well, I'm just thinking in terms of the home shopping realm.
Well, let's talk about home shopping
We could
for a
talk
minute.
about that for a minute.
Now, you're not doing any of the watch shows, are you?
I actually did my first block of the Invicta, what were they called? The Power Play.
Is that what it was?
Invicta Power Play. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, so it's
I always
it's
liked doing
Ryan.
it with you. They didn't let you do it enough, but I always would ask for you.
I think that
That's probably why I got
I think they
you.
probably think I'm too girly girl for the watch guys or
Well,
something.
No, they don't get it then. They don't get it because
Yeah, I mean-
you're the host. You're not the expert.
This is what I have to say about it.
All you have to do is just steer the ship.
Yeah, I don't think that, I mean, you tell me if I'm wrong, but I just don't think you need to have two techies together.
You don't.
And
I love doing the shows with you.
I personally think it's about the fun banter. I think, yes, you got to get through the watch and the details and share the information. I feel like I give the female perspective and the fashion perspective, and I don't need to compete with you for intelligence related to watches.
That's why I love doing the show with you, because you would say, "Tell us about this one, Larry." And I
Yeah,
would.
he loved it because I wasn't never trying to steal his thunder. I've never.
No, it was you. It was always fun. Our shows were great. They really, really were. So I love doing it, but they put you in the fashion thing where you belong.
I'm doing fashion, and I'm doing, believe it or not, I'm only doing fashion and jewelry. I did sell an X bike the other day.
You guys do a lot of fashion and jewelry.
We do.
Yeah.
They don't have me selling compression socks.
No. Wait, does Evine have compression socks now?
They do. That people are buying these compression socks. I really don't even understand them. You put them on and they compress your joint. I don't know.
You know what they should do? Okay, is they should come up with like a line.
Yes.
A Wendi Russo line.
Well, I think so too.
I mean, Pamela had one.
Yes, Pamela still brings hers in. She has the faux fur. She has the leathers, the faux suede.
I have a Pamela McCoy faux fur out in the living room.
Do you?
A throw.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Remember she
yes.
did some throws?
Oh yeah, we still have those. Yeah.
Yeah. But and one time I bought a Pamela McCoy coat for my daughter.
Oh.
And no, I was absolutely convinced she's going to love it. It was
yes.
Like a 3/4 length.
Uh-oh.
With the
and she
embroidery
didn't love
all
it?
over.
Uh-oh.
I can never please my daughter. Okay.
Oh,
Let me tell you that right
what was the print? Maybe it was like leopard, and she's not a leopard
it wasn't a print.
person.
It was like an embroidery thing. The whole back. It was.
Oh.
I always like to see more extroverted things on my daughter, and she's
Yes.
more into conservative kind of.
She's not a fashion maven then.
Well, I don't know. She works for Louis Vuitton now.
Oh
so,
gosh, well.
She's in Beverly Hills. So,
Oh well. Then maybe she does know a little about fashion.
She's into the more like
classic,
clean, conservative.
Okay. No embroidery.
Yeah.
Aw, you tried.
I used to own
give
two
you
ladies'
10
clothing
points
stores.
for-
You know that, right?
No,
Yeah, in the 70s.
you're kidding.
Yeah, I had Carol's Casuals and then Factory Sales by Megan. Yeah.
Oh my, Larry, you have worn so many
And
hats
then in the
your
90s,
day.
I had my own jewelry business.
What haven't you done? Have you
Well,
delivered balloons?
Well, probably, but no, I haven't done balloons.
I've done that.
No, but I grew up in the schmata business.
The schmata. You're the other person who says schmata. I say schmata, and people are like, "What's that?"
It's a nice schmata you've got
Thank
on.
you for explaining that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I grew up in that business. My father was in
I
it.
love it. The rag business.
The rag business. That's what they call it.
Yes, it is.
But but Pamela made really nice stuff, and I'm sure she
Yes.
still is. So they
Yes, she
should
is.
Wendi Russo, because you're the host. And,
I would love to.
But did Pamela like finance that all on her own, and so you'd have to do the same
Pamela,
thing?
no, I think what happened was she was asked, I think the powers that be wanted her to have her own line, and then she was kind of hooked up with the manufacturer on that.
You know, she used to live right up the street here.
Really?
Yeah, this Autumn Woods.
Oh my gosh,
Just,
I didn't
just
know that.
literally a block up the street.
I thought she was in Victoria.
No, right here, Chaska, and you know, her husband. Was it Chuck?
Wes.
Wes, of course. I don't know why.
Wes.
Because they moved
Chuck.
out. No, well, they moved
You're
out.
thinking Chuck Clemency.
No. It was Wes. I'm sorry. Listen, I should know because I used to stop. I'd pull over every time I'm
Wes
driving up
is
the street.
so sweet.
He was always outside in the yard, you know, and I'd stop, I'd get out of my truck and talk to him. They moved. That's why I kind of forgot
they were
now.
then in Victoria. That's right.
No, they were in Chaska.
Was it?
I'm telling you, they lived right up the street. A beautiful home. Beautiful. Right
Where
up the
is
street
it?
here.
Oh, I don't know
This
why.
is Lake Hazeltine, okay, that we're on, okay?
Oh.
And they lived right up the street, beautiful home for many, many years. And then
Wow.
they sold it, I guess, after
She moved to Florida.
They moved to Florida.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. She loves it.
You know, they
The
probably, I bet you anything, Pamela probably said we live in Victoria because she didn't want to say Chaska, okay? Because Victoria is right next door.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
Okay? But it was really a beautiful home.
Oh wow.
And I drive by all the time, see Wes. I'd pull my car over, get out, and talk to him all the time. What a nice guy he was. and
He is.
Pamela,
He's
too.
such a nice guy.
Yeah.
Really nice guy.
But now she's there and he's not, or she flies in.
She just flies in.
She's a vendor.
Yes. Occasionally he'll come with her and we'll say hello and I'll see them. When I went to JCK show last year in Vegas, he was there.
Yeah, they
that
came
was
by
fun.
they came by our booth a couple of times at
Yes.
JCK for Sterling.
That's fun.
Just say hi.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Vegas was fun.
So what did you do there? Did you like do part
I
of your
sold.
shows?
Yeah, I just sold. Sold some jewelry.
Okay, they did live remote from there.
Yes, and then we saw.
But an actual selling show, or
Yes,
just?
no, we had live remote. Yes,
I see. Where did you set up?
it was on the roof of the Link. Have you ever been to the Link?
I have. That's a new place.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about the.
It's young people.
Yes,
It's very young.
but not just young, just like little crazy.
Tats and everything.
Tats, listen to tats.
Right? Am I right?
Well, yeah, but I just felt like
Like the Palms or something.
people are going crazy. That's all. Just it was a little too crazy for me.
Yeah.
Maybe 20 years ago I would have liked a little crazy, but now I'm kind of like, yes.
Yeah, I still like the Bellagio.
Yes, exactly. I like the Venetian.
Yeah, the Venetian.
I like
has,
feeling like I'm in Italy.
Venetian has all suites.
It's very expensive there,
I know it is.
but I like that one. And
Yeah.
Caesars isn't bad.
Yeah. Well, you know, when they used to have the JCK over at the Sands, it was connected to the Venetian.
Oh,
so people who, for the
fun.
JCK, a lot of them would stay at the Venetian.
Oh, good
because
idea.
because it was connected. But they've now moved the JCK over to, oh gosh, what's the name of that hotel now? All the way at the end of the strip.
Oh gosh.
Anyway, they moved it,
Yes.
and it's not the same anymore. But
I know.
it's a newer hall. The old Sands was very old, but that's when the show, you know, I thought was better.
Yes, I know. It's
Anyway.
hard when they change the venue on things too.
Yeah, we've got about a 20 by 30 exhibit there.
Oh, do you?
Sterling, yeah.
Well, I'm going to have to visit you at the next one. I didn't even know you were there.
Yeah, well, because you don't go to the watch.
I didn't
segment.
go to the watch
Well, you know, I
segment.
used to own. I had my own jewelry business. You know that, right?
No.
Well, that's where I was really into the stones, the rocks, and all the
Oh my
all the sapphires. I like the colors. I mean, I sold diamonds too, but
Yes.
mostly colors. Like sapphires and emeralds and rubies, and even the non-precious. I know you're GIA certified
Yes.
now, right?
I'm one course away from my GG, graduate gemologist degree.
And that
So I have my colored stones, I have my diamond grading, I have my
Yeah.
AJP.
Yeah, so you're using the school in San Diego.
I
of
went to
course-
Calabasas.
Is it Calabasas?
Or was it? No, I'm getting it wrong.
It's down in San Diego.
Starts with the C.
Costa Mesa?
No.
It's down in California.
Yes, it is.
I know.
And it's gorgeous there.
Yeah.
Carlsbad.
Carlsbad.
Got it.
That's it.
Carlsbad. It's beautiful. I got 250 stones into my 500
My
stone
first marriage
review.
was at the Calabasas Inn.
Was
though.
it?
Yes.
Stop it.
To my first ex-wife, yeah.
How many were there?
2. Doesn't everybody? I mean,
All right.
but anyway, Calabasas Inn, but that's L.A.
So I got into the last course I have to take is the graduate gemologist gem identification course. There's 500 stones, and you have to identify several things to make. You have to do tests. You can't just look at it and say, "Oh, it's turquoise."
But you know,
have
guys
to do
who
the
really
test.
know stones can almost do it. So,
Doesn't matter. They won't let you.
I know you have to test the
You
light
have to-
refraction. I understand.
Yes.
I know everything.
So I got
know it.
250 in, Larry, and then I realized I was getting a lot wrong. Guess what? The eyes, the peepers were going. So it slowed me down, and then I actually went and got glasses, and then they said, well, you have to finish by this date, or you have to start all over again. Guess what?
You start all over.
Oh, yeah, I had to start all over again.
And that course is about
Do you know how long that
$20,000. Now,
takes?
what, is Shop paying for
It's
that for
major
you?
money. No. That was out of my pocket. So once they told me I had to do it again, I said, all right, you know what? Maybe I don't really need this thing.
You know, I never had it, but and I had my own jewelry business. But I learned from guys in the mines. I mean,
Yeah, that's what Paul Deasy does.
yeah, I learned
what Paul
from
Deasy
miners.
does.
I mean, these guys they can look at a stone and they
Oh, yeah.
categorize them into A, B, and C grade.
Well,
and all
that would be
stuff.
nice. I wouldn't mind going and visiting some mines and learning from these guys. That would be fun.
But I used to love that business, and I was in that before the watches, the whole color gemstones.
Yes.
And for me, I like the gems more than the watches.
Really?
There's something about the
Wow.
rocks. There's something about those stones. And then all the guys that are in that business,
Yes.
you know, you're dealing on a retail level. I mean, you know,
Oh, yeah.
but you start going out there and you're buying from these dealers like I was in L.A. And, I mean, these guys were like drug dealers. I mean, they carry guns.
Oh, my
And then they
gosh.
have their little private stash. And then,
Oh, my
you know, there's all
gosh.
like different grades. Like you could have emeralds, for example.
Yeah, different levels of
You
emeralds.
could have emeralds for, you know, $10 a carat or 10,000 a carat, you know, and they're both emeralds, you know, but it depends on the quality.
That makes sense.
And so, you know, they have their little private stash and they open up their parcels and they're looking around, and you got to be careful downtown LA because the Colombians, they're always like looking and they're trying to trick you. And
What?
oh yeah, when I used to go down there to downtown LA to do my pickups, if I was going to do a private showing, I'd have a party, like, you know, a big suite in a hotel.
Yeah,
and
of course.
Invite
Get everyone coming over
get
for a
like
party.
you know private invitations and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So I have to go downtown, pick up all my goods. Everything was done on memo, which you know is consignment.
Yes.
And I had guys that were giving me, I mean, literally, I mean, I had one guy give me $1 million necklace.
What?
Yes, $1 million necklace. It was all graduated white diamonds. It was Alan Friedman. Hello, Alan. How you doing? He's still out there. Alan is one of the biggest, you know, jeweler, diamond business guys in all of LA, all of the world, really. He's in Beverly Hills now. He's gone retail again. But his father and him used to own a store called Borsheim's, and people from all over the country would go there. And then his dad died, and then he got into dealing diamonds and all that stuff. But anyway, my point is, when I would go down there and pick these goods up, I had a guy that I hired to walk 10 feet behind me who was carrying a gun.
Oh, stop.
No, I'm serious. I'm serious about that.
It's kind of scary.
No, in LA, what they do is they scout you, and they're watching from. You don't know where they're watching from, and you want to park in different places every time, because what they'll do is they don't want to hurt you. They just want to steal your goods. They want to trick you. So, like, you go to your car, and then they know where you park. They'll follow you, but what they do is they let the air out of the tire. They put a little slit in your tire, so that you drive 5-10 miles away from downtown
stopped.
LA, and you have to pull over off the side of the road, and they're following you. I mean, there's stories like this.
That's scary.
So you have to park in different places. This goes on, and it's mostly the Colombians. But I'm serious about this. So I used to have guys follow me around. One particular guy, he was like a bodyguard, and he'd walk 10 feet behind me. And I'd have this. In fact, I still have the jacket. I'll show you when we're done with the show.
They have all these hidden pockets and
That's what I'm
linings.
saying. I've got a jacket with like 37 pockets in it. Okay.
37?
It's in my closet. I'll show it to you when we get done. Okay.
Spooky. Yeah.
Yeah, and you have all these pockets, and they carry a briefcase, and you had cargo pants with pockets and stuff. So they didn't know where everything was, and
Wow.
but
They can pat you down and find it.
well, yeah,
rip
but
that
then
jacket open.
but they're not going to just do it in broad daylight.
They'll just rip the jacket off of you and leave.
Not in broad daylight in downtown.
No, that's true. Okay.
That's why I say you got to be careful.
Yes.
And when I would do those pickups, that's what I would do. and I didn't have the insurance for it. So one of my big suppliers, he's probably the biggest in LA at this time. He's huge. He's a Brazilian guy, and he gets the most incredible gems you ever saw. No calibrated goods like what you guys sell on Shop NBC. I mean, gem quality stuff. Anyway, his name is Hubert, and he'd say, Larry, now, he says, you got insurance for this? I say, no, I don't. And he says, all right, just be careful.
Oh, my goodness.
And they would trust me, and they would let me go. I said, but I got my guy here. He says, all right, be careful, you know. And guys trusted me with it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's an exciting time. You've really lived
That
a
was in
full
the 90s.
life with all this.
That was in the 90s, and that's what I say. I really love that whole gemstone thing, you know. It was really like, you know, like you were doing something nefarious or something, you know.
He likes the nefarious.
All right.
All right, Larry, we've got a caller on the line that wants to talk to Wendi.
We have a caller. All right, caller, you're on the line with Wendi Russo.
Hello.
Hi, Wendi.
Hi.
How are you?
Who's this?
Don't tell her. Make her guess.
Oh, my gosh. Heather.
Yeah. How are you guys?
I'm good. What are you doing?
Do you know Heather?
Maybe.
Do you know her, Wendi?
No. Kind of, sort of.
So I was just listening to you guys, and I actually, either one of you could answer this question.
Okay. Yes.
But I was wondering, what do you guys attribute to your success?
Wow.
I can answer that.
Go ahead.
I think for me, I've had a fighting spirit. So I don't give up easily, and I think that I really know when I need to learn something and sit back and improve and do what I need to do to get better. And so that way I'm able to continue to move up whatever I'm going towards, whether it's a pageant and improve so I can win the next time, or whether it's in my job so I can improve and improve my shows, what I'm delivering on those. But I just don't give up. And no matter if I hear negative things, and believe me, when I was an actress, I was getting, you know, you go on so many auditions, you don't get anything. And you feel like you're discouraged. So you have to be able to push through discouragement. And that means if people are telling you to your face you're not good at something, you actually need to continue believing in yourself and almost be, in a sense, defiant that you are not going to get sucked into their thoughts about who you are. You have to be very strong in who you think you are and who you know you are and what you know you have to offer.
Wow. Do I have to follow that, Heather? You know, I would agree with some of the things Wendi said, especially about believing in yourself and be defiant. I agree with that. But as far as, you know, being a success, I'll be honest, I don't really feel like I'm there. I feel like I'm still, I mean, don't get me wrong. I could show you things that I've done and accomplished, and people would go like, oh my God, you did this and you did that. And, you know, and I'm proud of some of the things. And I even look back going, wow, I really did do that. And I know I've accomplished like some miniature successes maybe, but never the big one, you know, never the one that, you know, really lasts. So I don't really feel like I'm there yet. But for me, I would kind of mimic a little bit of what Wendi said there. You know, you just, you know, I guess what I would attribute it to more than anything, honestly, is my mom and dad. May they rest in peace. My mom, you know, basically drilled it into me from a young age that, you know, believe me, I've had years of therapy, okay? I really have, you know.
Wait a minute, haven't we all?
No, I really have, because my mom actually made me feel like I was somehow special, you know.
Oh, Larry, you are.
No, but I mean, she really spoiled me. I mean, it got really bad the wrong way, you know. I mean,
the wrong way.
No, but I'm serious about that in the sense that, you know, you could have a parent that just like puts you down all the time, and then you're screwed up for life the other way. You know,
Right,
I was kind of screwed up the other way, thinking that I was better than
That you're a
everybody else.
god.
Yeah, you know, that was, you know, if you know what a Jewish mother is.
My son Larry.
If you know what a Jewish mother
He can
is.
do no wrong.
Exactly. That was my mom, and God, you know.
No one's good enough for my Larry.
You'll never find a closer, you know, mother and son ever than me and my mom. We were everything. I mean, I could tell you stories about me and her. But
my goodness.
And of course, I had my clothing store in the 70s, my first one, and it was very successful actually at that time. I I was 23 years old, always walking around with $10,000 in cash in my pocket in 1978.
Oh my gosh.
That was
no
insane.
wonder the ladies are flocking around
No, but
you, Larry.
think about that. $10,000 in 78. What would that be today?
$100 grand.
No, probably about 40 or 50.
That's pretty good.
But still, I mean, in cash. But it wasn't me. It was my mom, because I had her running my store. You know, I would take her with me on buying trips. My mom, they would come in to buy something for $10. They'd walk out. They spent $200. I mean, back in those days, that was a lot of money, you know, and that's how she was. And she, you know, but that, and also my dad. My dad was, you talk about optimism. My dad was the eternal optimist. I mean, he was always positive, 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 positive. So I think I just got it from my mom and dad, and I don't think I've reached it yet, but it's not over. It's not over yet,
Heather,
Heather.
what is your goal?
My goal is just to be happy and honestly just to keep plugging away. I like your perseverance message, Wendi.
Yeah, I was not blessed with what Larry's talking about, so I did not have that. So for me, it had to come, you know, a lot of it from within, my own drive. And believe me, I said my share of prayers along the way. But I didn't have that kind of support system for what my dreams or goals were. So I was kind of a black sheep in my family, and nobody really could understand my personality, who I was. I mean, I was more of an entertainer, and everyone in my family was very quiet, and they're engineers. So I have engineers and people who are mathematicians, and that was not me. So I had to kind of beat to my own drum, and along the way, it's definitely challenging to surround yourself by people who are supportive of you. So that's another key thing, is to find people who support your dreams.
Stay away from negative types, that's for sure. I always avoid negative types, always.
I hope that answers your question, Heather.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for taking my call.
You know,
you're welcome.
The last segment on our show, every show we end with a segment called Always Chasing Rainbows, and it's dedicated to Judy Garland. So we end every show with a Judy Garland song.
Aww.
But it's about always, you know, keep chasing your dreams, keep chasing your rainbows, you know, keep chasing those rainbows, and just aspire to, you know, fulfill your dreams. And that's what the last segment of this show is all about. So check that out later tonight.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Bye,
Okay.
Heather. Thanks for calling.
Thanks, Heather.
Bye. Have a good night, guys.
Thank you. And with that, Ronnie, I think it's time we should take a quick break. Okay? Guys, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, the Classic Film Zone with Maureen Lenker, Fred Astaire, and Ginger Rogers. Don't go away.
Fun.
Chill with Larry Megan.
Music Unites empowers at-risk public school students through the creation of unique music education partnerships and programs. Music Unites elevates the next generation of performers by providing audiences, venues, and special performance opportunities. Music inspires. Music empowers. Music unites. Night Owl TV proudly supports Music Unites. To lend your support, please visit musicunites.org.
Chill with Larry Megan.
Hi, good evening, Night Owls. Hi, Larry. Welcome to the Classic Film Zone. We have a real treat tonight. We're going back in time to the 1930s to a very elegant era here with Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers, and one of their best pairings in 1935's Top Hat. They made many films together, the majority of them at RKO. And this is considered by many one of their top two, along with Swing Time. and it's a great treat.
Give me a split screen, Mommy.
A wonderful testament to their magic on screen. Critic Pauline Kael called their work a great American courtship told through dance, and that's what we're going to get a glimpse of tonight. And this film is a classic Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers tale, follows a similar plot to many of their films, which is a romance plot involving mistaken identity. Fred Astaire is Jerry Travers, an American dancer and entertainer who falls in love with Dale Fremont, a beautiful girl who's staying in the hotel room below him. Through a series of events, she ends up thinking that he is her best friend's husband, and drama ensues from there.
Maureen, I wanted to check on something here. It's Dale Tremont with a T, and we need to fix that in your blog. But, Wendi is the one who kind of inspired this choice this week. So I wanted to throw it to Wendi real quick. And, of course, I got to tell you, Wendi, Maureen was thrilled to get into Fred and Ginger.
Oh, goody. Yeah, they're the most, I think, debonair couple. They had such a wonderful dynamic. There was such a fun relationship to them, and their dancing was really unparalleled, in my opinion. They were probably the best coupling I've ever seen for dancing in the musical film realm.
Oh, absolutely. So I just wanted to get...
Definitely.
I just wanted to get Wendi in on this too, Maureen, here, before we start jumping into clips.
Great. No, I completely agree. I still think the ultimate compliment you can give a dancing couple is to compare them to Fred and Ginger.
That's
there's
right.
No
That's
one better.
it. That is exactly it. You're right. Thank you so much for doing this, because I think that Top Hat is one that not everybody's seen.
Yeah, I think, it and Swing Time are often cited as their two best, but I think what happens more than anything is that people see numbers out of context, but they don't necessarily see a complete film and understand the narrative that they're participating in.
Good point. No, I'm excited for this. I haven't even seen some clips for a long time, too.
All right, what are we seeing first, Maureen?
So we're starting with Fun and Fancy Free, which is Fred Astaire's first number in the film. And he has just come to the hotel room of his friend Horace, who is also producing his show in London. And they're talking about going to visit Horace's wife in Italy and wives, and this is what results.
That's how I go to sleep, with full makeup and my hair done. In a bath of pink silk.
Exactly. Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah, with a beautiful silk coverlet as well.
Well, of course, with feathers along the collar. I should have worn mine tonight in honor.
Well, that was... of course. Well, that was actually two clips together there, I think. That was Fancy Free, and then the follow-up where he does the Sandman dance for Ginger. Lots of stuff going on there. Great dancing from Astaire, and the first meeting between Astaire and Rogers in this film.
What I noticed, Maureen, real quickly
and
here...
their partnership...
Maureen, real quickly, what I noticed there is that it seems like in all these movies, I can't say for sure, but in most of these Fred and Ginger movies, it seems like the way they always meet, the quote, meet cute, he is somehow annoying her.
Always.
He annoys her, and she's like really annoyed by him, but he's always wanting her, and he's annoying her, and then eventually he wins her over, which is kind of in contrast to the Mickey and Judy movies that I love so much, where Judy always wants Mickey, and Mickey, is always like, not as into Judy as Judy's into. It's the opposite.
Yeah, no, it's very much the formula for their films, that she's this kind of plucky, independent woman who has to be gradually won over by him and finds him annoying to begin with. Actually, when they first got the script for this film, Astaire didn't like it because he thought it was too similar to The Gay Divorcee. That was their first starring film that they did together. They'd appeared in Flying Down to Rio in 1933 and stole the film with a 2-minute dance number, but The Gay Divorcee was their first film that they did where they were the actual leads. And then Top Hat was actually the first film that was specifically written with them in mind. The two films they did prior to that, The Gay Divorcee and Roberta, had been scripts that were kind of just bouncing around, and they slotted them into that. This was the first one that was specifically for them. And Astaire really had to be talked into their partnership because he'd just come out of partnering with his sister Adele on stage for many years, and he didn't want to play second fiddle to someone again. But we're so glad that he was won over, and RKO threw in some profits on the back end there to help convince him. And it's totally a fluke that they ended up partnering, too, because Dorothy Jordan was meant to appear opposite him in Flying Down to Rio, and then she decided that she was going to marry producer Marion C. Cooper at RKO and was off on her honeymoon while Flying Down to Rio was shooting. So they threw Ginger Rogers into the role, and history was made. And she and Fred had actually known each other before. He'd come in to help clean up some choreography on a 1930 Broadway show she was in called Girl Crazy, and he had actually asked her out at the time, and they'd gone on a date. They went dancing, of course.
Maureen, real quickly here, you know, I think you and I have had some discussions. You already know what a fan I am of Ginger Rogers. I love Ginger Rogers. She's such a, not just a triple threat, she's a quadruple threat. She can sing, she can dance, she can act, and she does comedy. She's great at comedy. But what I kind of detect a little bit, and I just want to bounce this off of you to see if maybe I'm seeing it wrong, or, you know, confirm if I'm right. I detect just a little hint of Mae West out of her.
Oh, yeah, I can definitely see that. I mean, she comes from a similar background, vaudeville and dance, and I think that they all came up in that. I mean, I also get a little Jean Harlow out of her as well, that sort of brassy blonde personality.
Yeah, that kind of sharp, sarcastic, that's what I'm thinking of. But yeah, very good. Okay.
That was fun.
You're up, Maureen.
Before we move on to the next clip, I just wanted to make a nod to Astaire's astonishing contributions to dance on screen that we really got to see in these clips and will continue to see as we move forward. He really revolutionized what dancing looked like on screen. He insisted that dancers be shot full body, that they not cut away to shots of dancers' faces or feet or audience reaction shots, and he wanted them done in as few takes as possible, one long shot, so that you would just get the uninterrupted dance. And you saw that in what we just saw. And he was, I don't want to say control freak, that's maybe not the nicest word, but
a perfectionist.
He oversaw his dances. Exactly, yes. But he oversaw everything from the initial orchestrations of a song that was being written for one of his films through to the final edit. And Hermes Pan was credited as the choreographer on all of his Fred and Ginger films, but it was pretty much an open secret that Astaire did all of his own choreography and then would work it out with Pan. Pan's main duty was to be Rogers while they came up with the choreography, and then they would teach it to her.
Oh, wow.
We actually have a couple of pictures of Fred with Hermes Pan. They became like lifelong friends after this movie, didn't they?
Oh, yeah. They were a great team. They worked together on many things for many years. He was a trusted partner for Astaire from this point on.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely they had advanced the whole genre of the musical, the way Fred liked to do it and everything.
Oh, yeah, unquestionably. I mean, I think a lot of credit gets given to Stanley Donen and Gene Kelly for how they revolutionized dance on screen, and rightly so. They did amazing things, but none of that would have come without Astaire and Pan developing this first.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Where are we going from here, Maureen?
Well, from here we're going to the first duet between Astaire and Rogers in this film. It's Isn't It a Lovely Day? He's continuing to annoy her. He's pretended to be a cab driver and followed her out to where she's riding horses for the day. And wouldn't you know it, they get caught in the rain.
1 second.
Oh,
1 second.
fun.
Hold on. Okay, we got it right from the beginning? Okay. All right, we're good. Sorry.
Oh, that was wonderful.
It's such a treat to watch them together. One of the great things about their partnership is that it wasn't like they had characters and then, okay, we dance, and now we're back to the character. they really carried the story with them into every dance. And so you see their flirtation and the comedy between them in this number carried over into the dance and carry the story forward. And in Ginger's case, in this number, she had a great artistic contribution to it, too. I think a lot of the time we think of Astaire as choreographing everything and don't necessarily consider her contributions in that area. But it was her idea to do the really comedic shadowing here. I mean, obviously they're doing a partner dance and they were famous for synchronizing their moves together, but she suggested mirroring the hands in the pockets and all of that great little bit at the beginning where she's really kind of mocking him as she gets swept up into the dance with him. So I think it's important that we not forget her contributions to their memory and everything they did on screen as well. She was a hilarious comedian and a creative, wonderful person in her own right, not just half of a partnership with Astaire that he was the creative leader on.
Absolutely. And, you know, I was mentioning to Wendi as we were watching that clip, to me, one of the things that's so amazing is, you know, in this clip, he's 36 and she's 24, okay, years old. And so she's this tough little 24-year-old pretty much standing up to this guy.
I would say.
And he's the star.
Yeah, no, definitely. She was quite a spitfire. I mean, we'll get into the details of it a little more, but she was not afraid to stand up for what she wanted on set, even though he was, in the eyes of the studio anyway, the creative superior on the project.
Right. Mm-hmm. Great number, Maureen. Great number.
You know, it's funny, though.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say that you have the great romance that starts to build in this scene and their flirtation here, and they, of course, were so well loved for their chemistry, but they didn't kiss on screen until 1938. This was made in 1935. Astaire wanted all of their romance to be told through dance. And then they finally kissed on screen in 1938's Carefree because all these rumors were building that Astaire's wife was jealous of Ginger Rogers and their partnership, and that they didn't get along. They actually hated each other. And so to quiet the rumors, they finally wrote a kiss in the script because they just couldn't take it anymore.
Wow. That's a funny way to get a kiss in there.
Yeah.
I know.
All right.
And I think you can see in the dance it's not really necessary. I mean, the dance says it all.
I thought it was really cute how they don't touch, because at this point, you know, she's starting to finally give in a little bit, but they haven't, you know, really, you know, he's after her, he's chasing her, but she hasn't given in yet. So the whole dance, they don't touch. And that one moment where they almost touch, they stop short, they don't touch. And then, of course, at the end, he finally pulls her in, you know. But I think that was her idea, wasn't it?
I'm not sure about that. I know that the mirroring was her idea, but it's a great way to convey the flirtatiousness of the scene and how she's warming up to him as well.
All right. Let's get through this plot here. Where are we going?
Well, next we're going to Fred Astaire's signature number and the title number of the film, Top Hat.
Okay, you heard the lady. Very, very nice.
That was fun.
What did we just see there, Maureen?
Well, that's Fred Astaire's signature number, his signature look, the top hat and tails. After this number, he became a huge inspiration for men's fashion in the 1930s. A tailcoat, double-breasted suits, top hats, black patent leather shoes. That became the evening wear look for men in the 1930s, and still continues to influence men's fashion. Ralph Lauren has regularly cited Fred Astaire as a fashion inspiration, and it's this number. But I also wanted to talk about this number in relation to Irving Berlin, because he wrote all of the music for this film, and he started a great partnership and friendship with Fred Astaire on this film and would go on to write more music for Astaire films than any other composer. All of the songs in this film he wrote specifically for it, so even though many of them have become standards now, they premiered in this film. And it was his first complete score for anything since 1930. and he was feeling really low in confidence, and he said that Astaire really was an ideal partner. He restored his confidence in himself, he made him feel secure, and he was an inspiring partner. And this number itself was something that Astaire brought to him and suggested, because he'd done something similar on Broadway in a Broadway flopped Ziegfeld show, where he'd done this bit of lining up his chorus dancers and pretending to fire at them with his cane like a firing squad. And so he wanted to bring this idea back to life. He suggested it to Irving Berlin, and this is what we got in result, plus many more memorable songs throughout this, and one of the most successful film scores for a composer at the time. I mean, just topping the charts when this movie came out.
Maureen, did I read somewhere in my research on this film that there were 5 songs from this film that were in the top 10 on the charts after this movie? Something like that. I thought I read that.
Yeah. It was actually called the Your Hit Parade. It was the name of the radio broadcast. It was kind of the equivalent of today's Billboard Top 40. And they would pick 15 top songs, and 5 of the 15 songs in September 1935 were from this film. Wow. And Cheek to Cheek stayed in the top 10 for 11 weeks.
Fun.
Let's get to the next number, because I know we got Buzz standing by, and I don't want to rush you. We'll get to this number, and after this number, even though we have the finale, I think I want to bring Buzz in to let him join us through the last clip of the movie. Okay, so let's go to it, Maureen.
Great. Well, we've got Cheek to Cheek here, so we've bypassed some plot here. Astaire's continued to pursue Rogers. She thinks that he is the husband of her best friend Madge, played by Helen Broderick, who we'll see in this first bit of the clip here. So she's resisting him, but amidst the confusion, he continues to try to woo her.
So let me get this straight. Helen Broderick is playing Madge, and Ginger Rogers thinks, mistaken identity, that Fred is really her husband through some mistaken identity, which has happened in the movie. And she can't understand why Madge is telling her to get close to him and go for him. She thinks that Madge is telling her to go for her husband.
Correct, because Madge's husband is actually Horace, the producer that we saw in the first scene with Fred Astaire, played by Edward Everett Horton. And both Broderick and Horton were regulars in Astaire and Rogers films. They made multiple ones with both of them. You'll notice if you watch a lot of Astaire Rogers films, you have a lot of the same supporting cast popping up.
Yeah,
but anyway, Horton's playing the husband Horace, who Rogers mistakenly thinks is Astaire.
Got it. Okay, Ronnie.